Friday, October 31st, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host, Jason Cooper, for the next hour or so, alongside my producer, Jacob Gramegna, behind the board, dressed up as Mr. Stan Marsh himself. No Halloween costume for me today because Halloween happens every year. You know what doesn't happen every year? Chance to win the World Series for the Blue Jays.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't happen every year, so that's what I'm a Blue Jays player as my Halloween costume.
The city is going to be alive tonight.
Oh yeah,
in a way we have maybe never experienced.
It will be fun regardless, you know. I just care about the ride. I care about the journey. That's what matters most to me.
So
yeah,
I have a question.
Let's hear it.
When you're preparing for a Game 6 when you can clinch the World Series, how hard can you go for a party? Because I'm very superstitious with these things. So if you have too big of a party, are you then tempting fate with, well, what if you have to do something tomorrow as well? You need to have a good party, but it can't be too good today.
I see exactly what you're saying, and I think I can relate this back to when the Raptors won in 2019.
Yeah.
They didn't win their first clinching game. They lost game 5, then won game 6.
They lost game 5 and won game 6.
Okay, so me and my friends all got an Airbnb downtown in 2019 for game 5.
Oh, okay.
But it was a Saturday, to be fair.
This is
so
what I'm talking about.
They proceeded to lose and then went for game 6. Listen, for me, I've been invited to multiple. I have friends who are having Halloween parties. First of all, if you're gonna have a Halloween party on the day of Halloween, the self-importance that you have to do that is kind of through the roof. If you want people to come to your Halloween party, do it the week before. Because everyone has a Halloween party on Halloween. Everyone does.
No.
Yes.
I completely disagree.
The self-importance of this stuff is crazy.
In university, we had a very large party
on
Halloween, and we got our invites out super early to body everyone else out of being able to host on the 31st.
That's fair, but I have multiple small Halloween parties with intermingling friend groups. So some of my friends are going to one, some of my friends are going to the other. I'm like, fuck this shit.
I'm not coordinate that.
Yeah, obviously, but some people are just too self-important to have someone else host it. Do it the week before if you want everyone to come. Do it the week before. That's what I believe. That's what I believe.
I believe be the head honcho and host of Halloween and dominate.
Yes, but there was also always a chance that the World Series game would fall on this Friday. So sorry to all my friends if you're watching this and I'm not coming to your Halloween party. I'm going out in the city of Toronto. I'm keeping it small with a group of 4 friends. Right. And we're going to enjoy it. I don't
Tomorrow, that's the big one. That's when you need a lot of friends in town. People come in from all over.
Exactly. Speaking of which, apparently if... I got to talk to him still, but I think Isaac might be coming into town tomorrow if...
He is. I talked to him yesterday.
Is he coming?
We recorded this morning's Circle Back.
Is he coming regardless or what?
No. If it's a Game 7, he'll be in Toronto.
Crazy stuff. Speaking of which, how was the Circle Back episode?
Very good. As always, myself, Kanish, Mike, Mr. Peanut Butter, Isaac Rose Berman. It was a great show. Great blend of characters. I loved it. It was good. Go check it out on the Circles Off channel. Link in the description.
It's always good when you have the lovable idiot in Mike because he sucks. Anyways, Mr. Peanut Butter, I'm kidding. I love that guy. As you can see, my co-host to the side, also wearing a Blue Jays jersey, World Series hat, Johnny from BetStamp. One's in the chat for Johnny. Oh man! All right, let's get serious. Yeah, let's get into things.
Waiting long enough.
Yeah. Also, shout out the other Mike, Media Mike, for putting together this great little graphics package. Everything's orange for Halloween. I love it.
Yeah, he's better than me. I don't think I would have spent all his time for one single show, but shout out to him. Respects.
Before we get into things, though, before we bring on Pips, he's going to come on in just a second. Just want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at BetStamp. With football in full swing and basketball back on the board, now's the time to lock in with the BetStamp Pro Props screen. Pro is built for high-level bettors who need to spot up and scale up edges fast between NFL Sundays, college football Saturdays, daily NBA action. Prop markets are more liquid and prices are sharper than ever, so the window to exploit inefficient numbers is right now. And guess what? You can't do that without a hyper-efficient, reliable, true line that shows you the real market price in seconds across 150-plus outs, helping you find and hit scalable edges. Don't wait. The opportunity to capitalize on the prop market is right now. Visit betstamp.com/hammer or scan the QR code to apply for a demo. Spots are limited throughout the season, so you're going to want to do that pretty fast. And the sooner you get it, the more value you get out of it. Simple as that. I guess I didn't do the rundown today for the show. If you want to bring it up. Yeah, there we go. Pips is going to lead off. G-Stack, we're going to talk Survivor. We're going to rip a little underdog parlay for the people who are out of Survivor. And then also, we're going to do some Dolphins radio off the top. Mike Greer fired as the GM of the Dolphins. Is it Mike Greer or is that his brother who is the GM of the Dolphins?
Don't ask me, dude.
I might have taught that might be the Sharks GM. Anyways, they're brothers, so it doesn't matter. One of the Greers fired, and then Jack Miller to close out the show doing some NFL player props. But let's get into things. Already running a little bit behind. Sorry about that, Pips. Let's bring him up right now. He's an NBA props originator, co-founder of Prop Madness Chats. You know him, you love him. Pips, first of all, how are you feeling, my friend?
Oh, feeling great. Yep, loving Fridays.
Rockets, looking good, buddy.
Yeah, Jacob. Is it cold out there or something like?
Well, yeah, it is, but
it's have you not seen South Park?
Also the costume.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay, there you go.
I just looked at it like, is it cold out there? And
well, it is cold. It is also cold.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Pips, appreciate you grading through this. I know you've been feeling a little bit under the weather throughout the week, so hopefully we can get through this together. Before we get into the props, you have a couple props here for us, including an SGP. I want to ask you about some team level stuff here because we're about 7, 8, 9-ish games through the NBA season. And this is when
5.
you start 5. Okay, my numbers are off. 6, 7, 5. Anyways,
6, 7.
I
did not do that.
That was not intended. I'm curious what you're looking for in terms of team tendencies because we've seen teams switch up some of their tendencies. The big one that has stuck out to me is the Miami Heat, who I think everyone's kind of all over this already. Here are playing much faster than they were last year. So from a team level perspective, what have you noticed this year that has changed from previous years? And how do you decipher that as noise or signal?
Yeah, so before the season, I made a huge post about, not huge post, I made a post on Twitter about how free throws per game, I did an analysis of the last 5 seasons and then showed preseason huge uptick in free throws per game, by 25%. And it's kind of even worse in the regular season. We've seen even bigger jump in the free throws attempted per game. So that's definitely affecting the overs, and still market not adjust that much, but I think from next week ongoing they will be adjust to it. Most of the lines are opening and then after a couple of hours are going up. So yeah. There is that on that side. Definitely some teams switched how they play. Good example of Miami sports, realized we need to run this shit in order to have any chances because our half course often sucks. So yeah, it's working real well. They have athletic guys, and it helps having either Bam Adebayo at the 5 who is really mobile, and then you have Hawks doing the same thing, but have Porzingis out there who can catch the breath most of the times. So their defense sucks. They can but it works for Miami because they are constructed very much differently. Imagine if I don't know, guys with Jonas Valanciunas tried playing super quick, that's not going to end well. Just want to touch on some teams as well. From what I've seen so far, Kings fucking sucks. Nothing new. Pelicans are horrible. So stupid. This summer business they did probably could go in the history of one of the worst summers ever with the moves they pulled. We are 4 games in and their season is over and then don't have the pick. Jordan Poole already benched. Zion looking horrible. Don't want to be there. So yeah, it's not looking great there. Mavericks as well. I don't know. They did get flag and noise kind of went down a bit because after the trade, but now it's going back real quick because the team fucking sucks. That's for my best part. Obviously, MNB looking absolutely monstrous. Spurs are 5-0. Could be making the playoffs this season. Can't wait to see that. How is that happening? And on the East part, my guy, we'll say my guy. I don't know if anyone knows, and I was expecting a ton of Rollins. I drafted him as the last pick on my fantasy, and yeah, he is making the noise now. Everyone seeing how great he is, and if he can maintain that, Bucks will be really good. Giannis is playing like an absolutely crazy level, uh, like MVP stuff. But if he can get additional help with guys like Rollins, it will be interesting. Other than that, yeah, Magic also lose. Magic Orlando looking horrible. Also, same thing as Miami, trying to run and play quick. Defense leaking, terrible. Banchero absolutely sucks as well. He need to figure out stuff, and yeah, that's basically in short.
All right. Appreciate that knowledge. Hopefully the chat got some of that as well. I gonna kind of put you on the spot here. I didn't tell you this before. Before we get into the props, I know that today's the NBA Cup, and I know the second tiebreaker for the NBA Cup is points scored, right? So that points scored is gonna matter down the road. We see the totals. They feel relatively high. Like the Celtics Sixers 233. A lot of the stuff is like these mid to high 230s outside of the Pelicans Clippers games, who like you mentioned before, the Pelicans suck. Do you feel like there's been enough of an adjustment on these totals with one, the NBA Cup games in general being kind of higher scoring environments, and two, through the first 5 games of the season, we've seen a lot more scoring, like you mentioned, with more free throws and things of that nature. Do you feel like there's been enough of an adjustment up on these totals?
Yeah, it's close to where it should be probably, and but still, like looking at like Memphis Lakers, Raptors Cleveland, especially if Mitchell is playing, that could be a lean over. Pacers Hawks, no Trae Young, so no, like this game will be very very high pace, but both teams are like horrible scoring so as of now. So yeah, Suns and Utah Jazz could easily be like 250. Yeah, so still kind of leaning overs on most of these lines. So there is that. So think we'll be there in a couple of days. Yeah.
Okay, makes perfect sense here. I feel like the market's always very quick to adjust, but I thought maybe with the extra emphasis of the increased scoring environment of the NBA Cup, where points really do matter, and teams will, instead of maybe, like I don't know if this is true, but intuitively, teams may just leave out their starters instead of, if they're blowing out a game, leaving their backups in there to try and get as many points as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, let's flip over and let's talk some props you have. You have 2 props for us here, 1 SGP. Let's start with the first prop you have. It is in the Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers game. We're going to head over to the assist market. Tell us who you like here and why.
So I like Evan Mobley over 3.5 assists, minus 132. Honestly, think this is huge mistake, especially with Donovan Mitchell being questionable. If he's out, they will run entire offense through Evan Mobley. The game environment is absolutely amazing for him. Raptors allow 5th most assists. They are playing at insanely high pace, and yeah, I don't know if Jacob can add to that, but Raptors are playing very high pace. So
the Raptors suck, so they have to play every single possession fast pace on fast break because their half court offense can't score. So they have to play fast.
Yeah. So yeah, they like looking at the pace, they are like top 5 in the league in the pace and department. And this pick is like crazy because so far this season, Evan Mobley averaging 4.6 assists. And the craziest part about this is that he averaged 52 passes a game. Passes made, not attempted. Passes made a game. 52 passes made a game. That's insane number. The lowest he had was 46. So I don't have Props Madness on the screen. We'll sort that out next week probably. But looking at the games where Evan Mobley had 46 or more passes, which is the lowest of this season, he covered this in 81% of the games. So in 13 out of 16 games with 4.8 assists. And that's not even looking at the matchup, looking at the pace, looking at anything. That's like just random, like over the random stretch of games. If you look at the maybe like a matchup thing, if you look at like when he's playing teams who allow like top above average against his position. He is over in 9 out of 10 with 5.3 assists. So and it can get better with Mitchell being out. And yeah, so absolutely love this number. The only game he stayed under was against the Knicks, who don't allow any assists, and he had 3. So he was close to covering even in that game. So
All right.
just love this play.
Perfect. Yeah, it was 132 before, but of course, Pips, when you mention it, it moves pretty quickly. There's still some 125s and 130s out there if you shop around, 129s as well if you have Cambies. So yeah, I'm going to try and get to that as quickly as possible. The chat are sharks. There's sharks out here circling, scooping up as much as they can. But yeah, good stuff there from Pips. Let's get into our next play. It was, I believe, in the Hawks game, it was an SGP that you liked. So let's build it here together.
Yeah, so good input from your side about Jalen Johnson. We can do over 20.5 points for Jalen Johnson. Adding next Kristaps Porzingis, 15 plus points, and finishing off with Pascal Siakam, 4 plus assists.
Yeah, so that we put those together. That's Siakam 4 plus assists, Porzingis 15 plus points, and Jalen Johnson over 20.5 points plus 227 over on FanDuel. Walk us through why you like this play here.
First off, starting with Jalen Johnson, not Trae Young. His usage is absolutely insane. Last 2 games against the Bulls and against the Nets, he had 26% usage, which is, as I'm saying, like wild usage for guys like him. And last season, when he had 24 higher percent usage, he averaged 26 points. And just, yeah, this line should be much higher. Matchup is absolutely amazing. When you look at the scoring ways from Jalen Johnson, he scores like 80% of his points in the paint, and Pacers are not protecting the rim that well. Also, he is scoring a lot of getting a lot to the line, and now without Trae Young, he'll be a lot on ball, and Pacers are horrible at defending on ball and allowing the most free throws in the league. So matchup wise, it's absolutely amazing. Second part is Kristaps Porzingis. Yeah, I just need to do it like he will play like 30 minutes. Absolutely an amazing usage, and the Pacers, I don't know who did they even start at the 5. I'll need to check, but their 5 rotation is horrible. Yeah, they're starting Isaiah Jackson, who is like a minion compared to the Kristaps Porzingis, and then off the bench they have Tony Bradley and Jay Huff. Jay Huff is kind of decent, but Tony Bradley and Isaiah Jackson are not NBA caliber players, so Porzingis should absolutely cook them. I will bet it straight on the straight line. He had some foul trouble last couple of games, so I'm just doing it this way and like Jalen Johnson more. So don't want to like put 2 overs from the same team as a full unit. So I'm doing it this way. And the last part of this bet is Pascal Siakam, 4 plus assist. Insane team from the Pacers. Benedict Mathurin out, Tyrese Halliburton out, Andrew Nemhard out, TJ McConnell out, Obi Toppin out. So kind of only guy that can't handle the ball is out there, and it's Pascal Siakam. And looking at the last 2 games for Pascal Siakam assist-wise, last game he had only 3 assists. I had over 4.5 for a big size. And looking at the potential assists kind of hurt because he had 13 potential assists and only 3 assists. If you take a look at the last season, he usually converts on like 65% on potential assists, on 65% of potential assists. So looking at this, only 3 on 13 is kind of crazy. But game before that against the Wolves, who are not allowing many assists, he had 19 potential assists and 8 assists. So in this team, everything goes through him. And the Hawks defense not great, so he'll rack up assists. Should be easy in this one.
All right, love that one. I also love how you called Isaiah Jackson a minion. That was fucking that was hilarious. Porzingis is gonna feed him his lunch, hopefully. But yeah, so plus 227 on this parlay. What number would you take it to?
Plus 200.
Okay, let's just want to give some room for the chat here in case it moves. Last play you have mentioned here is in the Pelicans Clippers game. You're looking at Trey Murphy points, rebounds, and assists. Talk us through it.
Yeah, so this one kind of moved on the FanDuel to 24.5, but there are some 23.5 lines out there, so pretty widely available. So get there. So far this season, Trey Murphy looked like absolute hot garbage, so I'm buying low. Last season he was kind of great. Big season. Last 2 seasons he shot 45% from the field, 37.8% from the 3-point line. Huge numbers. Rebounding well. Even had huge uptick in assists, and now he can make anything. Like throughout the first 4 games of the season, he's shooting 35% from the field and 20% from the floor. And if we look at the totals, he's still averaging close to this line. Like even with 35% from the field, 20% from 3, he averaging 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists on the season. So this line makes zero sense. Like he played Spurs, Wemby, covered this, and then he had Jaren Jackson and Boston Celtics matchup. That's horrible matchup, and then big, insane blowout against the Denver Nuggets, who kind of defended him really well. Now gets the Clippers, obviously not a easy matchup, but they will focus a ton on Zion, so he should kind of get to his spots. Last season, when we look at the games when he played with Zion, without Brandon Ingram, and when he got like 28 plus minutes, he covered this line in 91%, like in 19 out of 21 games, averaging 31 points, rebounds, and assists. Don't think much changed, just the shots are not falling. And even again against the Clippers, he covered this. So yeah, I think this line is just way off. And Poole moved to the bench. Starting lineup is kind of not great. Like they have Jeremiah Fierce, a rookie, Herb Jones, both low usage players. Yves Missy, low usage player, and they will double Zion. So kind of Trey Murphy needs to do a bunch of stuff there on the rebounds, on the assist, and on scoring wise. It's a cup game, so even if it's a blowout, I think he should get still 30 minutes in this one. So yeah, definitely love this spot.
Yeah, so 23.5 good to minus 120-ish is what we'll call it, or what do you feel comfortable?
Up to minus 125, yeah.
Okay, minus 125. And then if seems like the market is steaming towards 24.5, what would you need plus money at 24.5, or would that just be a no play for you if some people are watching this at it's at 24.5?
If maybe I will maybe go to the 20.5 points in rebounds in that case.
Okay.
So like minus 150, up to minus 150 on 20.5 points in rebounds if you have 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Appreciate that, Pips. And appreciate you doing this today. Any last final thoughts for this NBA Cup? Any opinions you have? Anything you want to stick your neck out on, or nothing really there?
I don't know. Caught me with this question, so I don't honestly know. I don't know.
All right. All good.
Hope we win our bets. I think we are, after the last show, I think we had Ja Morant and Kuminga cashed like 2 minutes into the second half. That was easy. What was our third bet that we had?
Let me check. Hold on.
I've sent you. Third
Kuminga,
bet lost. So that,
Derek White, 15 plus points, 4 plus rebounds, 4 plus assists.
Yeah. So that one, he continues. He continued poor shooting. So yeah,
it is what it is. It's all good. I'll ask you one more question before you go, and hopefully you'll give me the answer. I don't know if you're a big World Series guy, but I don't know if you've heard, but our Blue Jays are playing tonight against the Dodgers. They could win the World Series, the MLB championship tonight. Who you got in the game?
Most of you guys are from Canada, so yeah. Yeah. Good luck, guys. But zero interest from my side.
It's all right. All we need is the good luck from you, Pips. I appreciate you joining the show. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit better. And yeah, we'll chat next week.
See ya.
All right. Awesome stuff from Pips. The best. Love doing these NBA segments. And a quick rundown for those who missed it. Evan Mobley over 3.5 assists, minus 136-ish. If you can still find it, it might all be gone. Which is why you want to tune in to this live. Jalen Johnson, 20-plus points. 20.5 plus points. Over 20.5 points. Porzingis, 15-plus points. Siakam, 4-plus assists. 227 over at FanDuel. Then Trey Murphy, over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. You're going to want to take that to minus 125. And if you can't find the minus 125 points and rebounds, 20.5 around minus 150 is also good. Before we get into our next guest, before we bring on G-Stack George, I just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors over at FanDuel. Buckets, buzzer beaters, and your choice of rewards. That's how FanDuel does basketball season. And right now, every day to start the season, you can choose your reward, play it your way, pick what fits your game, and take control of how you bet. Take your shot with an NBA profit boost, play it cool with a no-sweat bet, or get a little backup with a bet back token. We just talked about an SGP from Pips. I know I'm personally using my profit boost token, taking the profit boost token, using it on that SGP. Whatever fits your game, the choice is yours. That's what happens when you play on a sportsbook built for your game. However you play, FanDuel's giving you the power to choose your reward and own your game every single day for the NBA season. Head to FanDuel.com/forward progress to make your choice. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, 19 plus and physically located in Ontario, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In New York, call Connex Ontario 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca. All right, G-Stack George coming up next. He's the director of marketing at the Hammer HQ, host of Forward Progress, tortured Dolphins fan, but he might be a little bit happy today because is it Mike Grier? Is it Chris Grier? I have the Griers mixed up. One of them got fired. He's no longer the Miami Dolphins GM. George, how you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. It's like a revolution where you overthrow a dictator in a country. That's what happened. We overthrew our GM, Chris Grier, who has been keeping us in a mediocre zone forever.
Yeah, I think I said Mike Grier earlier in the show, but hey, it's close. They're brothers, and he's the GM of the Sharks. Like, it's close enough. Like, I got the names mixed up. Sorry about that. But yeah, how are you feeling as a Dolphins fan? Because I see we were going to talk a little bit about the Thursday night football game, but I feel like there's not really much to talk about here. This is the story, right? So a lot of people questioning the decision in terms of, does this mean that they are no longer sellers? Why would you fire your GM right before the trade deadline? Like, what do you think? How will the Dolphins now navigate the next upcoming days before this November 4th trade deadline in the NFL? Now that they fired their GM,
there will be no team that sells more players than us. The reason you fire the guy is if he's on a period where he needs to win to show that he could still be the leader of the team, he's reluctant to trade players that are going to help him potentially win. So you don't want that guy in charge of the deadline. The fact that you fire him before the deadline tells me that they wanted him gone because they need to do a full fire sale, and he was unwilling. And now we're hearing reports that he was not listening on Jalen Waddle, that a lot of the defensive ends that people are interested in, he was being reluctant. And this means get him out of the way. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins sell 3 pass rushers by the deadline. I think Rasul, Douglas will also be available. And I don't believe Jalen Waddle will be moved, but I think Dolphins will be at least a seller of 3 or 4 players.
Okay. All right. Good to hear for the Dolphins. As a Dolphins fan, listen, you guys are down and out. It's tough sledding because you lose Tom Brady from your division, and then just like 2 more great quarterbacks grow in Josh Allen and Drake May. So you guys are going to have a lot to navigate over the coming years. So you're going to have to build a proper team from the ground up, tear it down to the foundation, build it from the ground up. You're going to want to be sellers. Are you shocked at all that they also didn't fire McDaniel? And they mentioned that McDaniel's going to stick out the rest of the season here. I think part of that reason is I don't know. I don't like. I assume the entire league was chomping at the bit for Mike McDaniel to be fired here, because then he would have been almost scooped up immediately. We talked about this last night on the watch along. So are you shocked at all that he didn't get fired, or do you think the appetite, I'm maybe making this appetite up in my head, but I would just think logically in the NFL, I think he would be the type of guy to get scooped up immediately. The thought of that for the Dolphins, you think maybe that persuaded them into not firing him immediately?
I don't. I think it's just about continuity. If he's gone, who actually steps in and is the coach? Oftentimes, there's some teams that are willing to, that still maybe have aspirations, or they're just so sick of it. It's so toxic. I just think, why fire him if he's unsuccessfully leading us right now? You might as well let him unsuccessfully lead you to a tank.
Mm-hmm.
And people want to pretend tanking doesn't exist. We got caught trying to tank. And there was big allegations, and they couldn't prove it. But I think we're all aware of what the Dolphins are trying to do here.
Interesting. Okay. So it seems like the Dolphins going for the tank. And George, you're happy about this, right? This is a good day for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to tear the team down to the studs. There's this version of the Dolphins is the same as all the other versions. We are somewhere in purgatory where we're not good enough to compete or be a playoff team. And we're not bad enough to have a top 3 pick, and that's the worst spot to be in NFL when you're in the middle zone.
Yeah, by far, it's like that. It's no man's zone, no man's land. There we go.
Story, everything.
Yeah. KP Caps are even asking if you're going to be the new Fins GM. Hopefully.
No, you know who I actually would like to be the new Fins GM, and maybe I can throw this out there for the first time ever. There's a VP of analytics in Carolina that's doing a very, very good job, and I would like to see general manager Dr. Eric Eager of the Miami Dolphins with that tax-free money. Eric, it's a good opportunity.
All right, you sold them on it. Also, Carolina, not too far from Florida, from Miami. I actually don't even know. My geography is horrible.
I think the Carolinas are close to
Okay.
the Floridas. They're stacked up on top of each other.
There we go. Canadian geography for you. Anyways, let's talk. We're going to get into some Survivor stuff here. 4 major teams that you want to talk about this week: Green Bay, Detroit, both LA teams. Where do you want to start here?
Yeah, listen, it feels like a bit of a wasteful week. After a carnage week like last week, there's 4 big favorites, 5 if you included Baltimore, that got through. First one is Green Bay. It's pretty clear against Carolina. They are 13-point favorites, a little bit larger in some places. But they have future value. If you're not taking Green Bay here, you could take them week 11 at the New York Giants. And week 11 is quite an interesting week. You could take them week 14 at home against Chicago, week 16 at Chicago, or week 18 at Minnesota. The truth is, it's this week, or it's going to be week 11 at the Giants. Right now, they're projected at 12% ownership. And that's because, Jason, I've looked around and they're averaging like 33% availability in most Survivor leagues. So it's all about, not many people have Green Bay left. Great little spot to take them. And I don't think you have to be worried about upset watch. They just got way too much talent, and Carolina's got way too many injuries on the O-line right now.
Okay, so Green Bay seems to be your pick in terms of.
I don't have them available, but if you have
them
available, I would rather take them now, or if you don't have a good option in week 11, save them for the week against the New York Giants.
So what if you're in a situation like me where you don't have Detroit because you plan to save them for Thanksgiving? Who would you pick between the Chargers and the Rams?
So if you want to, you have the Chargers and the Rams available?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to the Chargers. Right now they're looking like 9.5-point favorites at FanDuel against Tennessee. It's either you take them this week 10 versus Pittsburgh, or week 13 versus Las Vegas off a bye. The other 2 games, obviously the comfort level of being at home is one thing. But even the game against Vegas, they're not projected to be as big a favorite. I like taking the Chargers here. The problem is there's a 97% availability, and they're going to be the second most popular pick, about 23-24% ownership. So that being said, I am probably going to take the Chargers in my own personal Survivor. The Rams is the other story. There's a lot of availability with the Rams too. 80% availability. This is odd to me. They're a 53% ownership stake, but they still have a home game against Tampa week 12, Week 13 at Carolina, and depending on if you're in certain pools where Thanksgiving is a game that is off the table, you lose 4 games, and so with fewer options, it's tempting to want to keep the Rams for Week 13 at Carolina. And they have games Week 17 in Atlanta, Week 18 home against Arizona, but I don't like saving teams for Week 18 because you don't know what their motivations will be. Listen, we don't know what Tyler Shuck is. The fact that Spencer Rattler kept him on the bench despite having the 29th team in offensive EPA per play probably doesn't bode well. If I had the Rams available, I would be considering them, but I probably might save them for that Week 13 at Carolina. I think I prefer the Chargers here. The Rams, I think they're all going to win though. It's a moot point. And then Detroit's the last kind of interesting big team, Jason. They if it's not this week, it's probably Week 12 against the New York Giants. Because they have games where they're projected, and obviously, like, listen, Detroit's a very good team. They're a house. Week 14, home against Dallas. Week 16, home against Pittsburgh. Week 17 at Minnesota. I don't know that I want to save them that late. You don't know what the makeup of the team is by then. 2.45% ownership projected this week, despite having 30% availability. So there is temptation of taking Detroit. I just think this is a game with a little bit of volatility and variance. But man, I think that 2% ownership is kind of interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. It's where you can scoop it up. And if you're in a small enough pool where like there's not a lot of people left and predict out things for the entire season, you might just want to take a swing and hope that the pool doesn't make it there. So
plus Jason, you're going to save Detroit for Week 12,
yes,
hypothetically, right?
Yeah.
But you could use Seattle at Tennessee that week. You could use Baltimore home against the Jets that week. You could use San Fran home against Carolina. There's a plenty other good options where it's like, do you want to save them for there, or do you want to take them in a week where they're 2% ownership? That being said, I think a lot of they're all getting through. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe it's the wrong week to zag this week. Or we could come back on Monday and look like absolute fools. But yeah, again, like 4 teams, 10-ish plus point favorites, some in the 9.5 range. But yeah, 2-score favorites. It's just too much to deal with here. Where do you want to go? Oh wow, we're short on time. So let's quickly build this underdog parlay. Yeah, sorry about that, George. I'm just excited today. I've lost track of time. So yeah, new segment. I'm going to preview this for the audience. As Survivor starts to dwindle down, as some of you guys start to get kicked from your Survivor pools, as probably slightly our fault, where we've led you astray over the past couple of weeks, we're looking to give back to you guys. We're looking to give back, and so we're going to do so in an underdog parlay. Look for some teams that we like who are plus money, either on the money line, maybe some alt spreads here and there, maybe some alt totals as well, alt team totals. We'll figure it out. We'll adjust as we go. But George, you like 3 teams on the money line as underdogs this week. Maybe we can round robin it out, and we'll figure it out from there. But yeah, let's run us through these teams quickly.
So, Jason, usually I like to have 4, 5, 6 options, but the problem is I do like a lot of favorites this week. Mm-hmm. This is a very rare week where I only like the 3 dogs. But let's start off with Atlanta at New England. Right now, New England is 5.5-point favorites at most books. I actually make the line closer to 4. So when there's a discrepancy in what I think the perceived value is, Atlanta is quite interesting. And I actually think it's a good matchup for Atlanta, and I'll explain why in a second. So Atlanta is very good at eliminating explosives against them defensively. They struggle stopping the run, and that's the one thing New England doesn't do well. 31st and 30th in rush EPA and rush success rate for New England. So Atlanta's weakness, I don't know that New England can expose it, and Ramondre Stevenson is expected to be out, so it's likely going to be the Travion Henderson or
Jared Patterson,
whatever other running back they like more than him thing. But here's the thing. You'll say, oh, but New England stops the run well. And Atlanta, if they can't get Bijan going, that's a problem. And I say to that, you can actually attack the New England linebackers. I think I've been saying this all week, all year, Jason, and we've been attacking props because of Christian Ellis not being a good cover linebacker. I actually have the numbers. First of all, I have a bet. Besides the fact that Atlanta will be the first leg of our underdog money line parlay, Bijan Robinson over 35.5 receiving yards minus 114 at FanDuel, best in market. He averages 6 targets per game, Jason. The Patriots have been targeted the second most times per game by running backs this year. They've given up the second most catches to running backs, top 6 most yards to running backs, because you cannot run against them. If you want to actually move the ball, I think Atlanta's going to learn that they want to throw to Bijan, get him the ball in space. They're not going to ignore Bijan for an entire game. And right now, nobody stops running backs better than New England. They've allowed the least amount of yards against running backs. So I think Atlanta adjusts that. It's Bijan Robinson. That being said, Bijan Robinson over 35.5 receiving yards, and Atlanta is the first leg of the underdog parlay. Jason, second leg. Let's go with Las Vegas.
Yep, let's do it. Quickly, before we get in with Las Vegas here, just want to quickly mention Tyler Algier also downgraded to limited last week in practice. So obviously we've seen them split time in the backfield. Bijan's going to be the bell cow, but just that extra little bit of work for Bijan, 35.5 over at FanDuel Best Price in Market. Las Vegas Raiders, Brock Bowers coming back. It's got to be part of the angle.
Brock Bowers back, Jacoby Myers back, Max Crosby looks like he's ready to go. And the truth is the Jaguars lose Travis Hunter, who was starting to become their number 1 receiver, which is a little bit crazy town because Brian Thomas has been bad and he's got this weird shoulder thing going on. They're not going to have their safety, Eric Murray. Las Vegas is very much a live team to win this game. Both teams off a bye. Feels like a strange game. The one thing I will say, what the Raiders do very well is stop the run. They have the 4th best defensive rush EPA in the league. And the Jags, you saw against Seattle, when they could not run the ball, they were stuck in 3rd and long all day, and Trevor Lawrence does not want to be stuck in 3rd and long all day. So I like Las Vegas as the second leg. And the third leg, Jason, Monday Night Football, Arizona Cardinals against the Dallas Cowboys. It doesn't matter. I think it's going to be Brissett, but I like it with either quarterback here. You can move this ball on Dallas. I think anybody can. It might be the worst defense in football, and they're still banged up. No Donovan Wilson at practice. Jack Sanborn, no practice. Listen, Dallas is literally the 32nd ranked defense in defensive EPA per play and defensive success rate. And I think Arizona's a little bit undervalued. They were like 2 and 3, Jason, and they lost games by 3 points, 1 point, and 3 points. They also were leading in the fourth quarter against Indy and Green Bay. No team has blown more fourth quarter leads. As long as that doesn't happen, I think Arizona's a little bit of an underrated team, and I think this is a coin flip game, and we're getting the plus money here.
All right, we combine those 3 teams together: Atlanta, Arizona, Las Vegas. Gets you 13-1 over at FanDuel Sportsbook. George, appreciate you joining the show today. We will chat on Monday.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, talk soon. Awesome stuff there from George. 1's in the chat if you're tailing the parlay. 2's in the chat if you don't like money. Anyways, let's get into the next guest here. Running a bit behind on today's show. So let's get into things for today. He covers the NFL fantasy betting and projections for Establish the Run. I don't think we've talked since he blessed me with a Darnell Washington anytime touchdown, so I gotta give him thanks for that. Jack Miller, how's it going, my friend?
It's going good. Hopefully we can keep it going after the Darnell Washington touchdown last time. But yeah, good to be on, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Excited to get into things here. We're going to talk some player level stuff here, and I feel like there's nowhere else to go other than the Travis Hunter stuff, which, by the way, like as an aside, how do you get injured during a bye week? Like that is just crazy. Not only injured, but like going on IR after a bye week. So Travis Hunter's hurt. Obviously, we know that Brian Thomas will probably see an uptick in targets, but he hasn't been that great this year. So if you had to pick one of these of their pass catchers to be the guy or to get an uptick in targets, who do you think is it going to be? Parker Washington? Is it going to be De'Amon Brown? Will Brenton Strange get looks? Like what do you think it's going to be here?
Yeah, Strange is still out. He's on IR with, I think, multiple injuries. I think he's going to be out for a couple more weeks. So then it's either De'Amon Brown or Parker Washington. Yeah. I think it's going to be pretty close between those two guys. I think Parker Washington's the favorite for the slot role. De'Ami's probably going to be in a similar outside wide receiver role that he's been in all year. I definitely think Parker Washington sees the larger uptick in targets just because he goes from wide receiver 4 to pretty much a full-time player now with Travis Hunter off the field, and he's been a really effective target earner so far. He's at 0.24 targets per route run. Maybe that drops a little bit now that he's going to be in a full-time role. I mean, this is kind of a non-answer, but I think that those two are pretty much going to be about equal in targets. If we're talking like fantasy-wise, Parker Washington probably has a little more PPR value because he's going to be getting more of the underneath work as the slot receiver. De'Ami Brown maybe a little bit more downfield explosion. But volume-wise, I think they're going to be about the same.
All right. Volume-wise, about the same. So it's going to be tough to crack between those two guys. Let's flip over and talk. We're going to be talking a lot of running backs today because there's a lot of split backfields, a couple guys hurt. Biggest one to start off with is Ramondre Stevenson. Have no lines posted yet for Travion Henderson. But it seems like, I don't know if Travion Henderson slept with Mike Vrabel's wife or did something wrong here, but it seems like there's just no way for him to get on the field. Even last game when it was a blowout, he really struggled to get on the field, and I think he only played less than 20% of the snaps, regardless of his big carry that he had. I think he still had around 40, 50, 60 yards. Not as many snaps as you'd like to see. We can't really predict coaching usage, but do you think this is going to be a full go for Travion Henderson? We saw a couple weeks ago, I think it was Terrell Jennings closing out a game over Travion Henderson when it was a blowout. So, what do you? This is all guesswork here. What do you think will happen if we don't see Ramondre Stevenson play because of his toe injury?
Yeah, it really is a lot of guesswork. We're making projections, but I think in cases like this, the term projection maybe gives a little more quantitative weight than it actually is, because we truly are just guessing on the split. We have Travion at 14 carries right now, and Terrell Jennings around 6. But again, that's our guess, and that's subject to change as hopefully we get reports throughout the weekend. Terrell Jennings is more of an early down grinder power back. Mike Vrabel has noted that he likes him in kind of the 4-minute offense, which he's pretty much only gotten carries in blowouts over the past couple of games. The Pats have blown out back-to-back opponents, and he's been kind of the guy that comes in and just finishes out the game. Vrabel did highlight that they like him in that role. He thinks he's done well in that role, and they did sign him to the active roster as opposed to just having to elevate him. So it seems like they do like him. So I think he'll be involved. I still think that given that Travion Henderson is the second-round rookie, he has been involved in the Patriots' plans all year long. I think he's a pretty decent favorite to get the vast majority of the work here, but the extent to which that is true, I think, is very much in question. All
right. So you said you project him around 14-ish carries here. Do you have a rushing number, or you guys don't want to give that out just yet? Because I know lines aren't posted. Maybe I'm asking a little bit too much here, but yeah, what do you think his rushing number would fall into the range of?
Yeah, I can check. I assume it'll be. Let me try to find it real quick.
I see some shops posting 55.5. So
that sounds kind of in the vicinity of where we'll probably be.
Okay. Yeah. A couple of sharper books out there, obviously waiting for sure on the news of Stevenson not playing, of course. But again, turf toe. Seems like it's turf toe. I don't even know what exactly it is. They're just saying toe injury. Seems like that's what it could be. Let's talk a little bit more about some split backfields where we're not seeing injuries, but we're seeing guys outperform each other. And finally, we're going to finally see the Carolina, I'll call it the flippening, because it should have been Dowdle all along. But they obviously love Chuba Hubbard in that room. They like the culture that he helped establish when Dave Canales first came in there. Didn't want him to lose his job because of his injury, but Rico Dowdle cannot be denied. He's looked incredible in those 2 games when Chuba Hubbard was hurt, and since he's been back, they've kind of been rotating Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle on drives, letting Chuba Hubbard start the games. Right now on FanDuel, Hubbard is at 22.5. Dowdle is at 47.5 rushing yards. Do you think this is enough of a correction based on the coach speak we've heard from Canales, where he said, I believe what he said was, we can't deny what Rico Dowdle has done here? Do you think maybe Dowdle should be a little bit higher? Is this a full go for Dowdle this week?
I think this is the week where we finally see Rico Dowdle kind of distance himself based on what Canales has said all week. Right now, we are mildly high on Rico Dowdle, and we have the Chuba number pretty much bang on. So, I think both the lines are in the vicinity of fair. If anything, it could be more Rico, but it all does just come down to how much stock you want to put into Dave Canales' comments.
All right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting here. I've loved taking the correlation of the one running back over, one running back under. Might be doing that here with Dowdle overs and Hubbard unders. Although that Hubbard number is a little bit lower. Maybe a better backfield to do it in is in the Tennessee backfield. Seems like Spears and Pollard, based off last game, they seem to be switching drives From what I've seen, I like Spears. I think he looks a little bit more explosive, has a little bit more juice than Tony Pollard. Spears right now, 24.5. Pollard right now, 37.5. Do you think the gap is too wide there, or do you feel like that's about right?
We're projecting them fairly close in rushing volume. The Titans came out and said a few weeks ago that they wanted to get Tyjae Spears more involved, and then they pretty immediately did it. And then when Brian Callahan got fired and they hired Mike McCoy as the interim, they leaned even further into it. And like you said, it's been not quite 50-50 over the past couple of weeks, but much closer to 50-50. And Spears has been outperforming him from a rushing efficiency standpoint. And so maybe we see them start to lean even more Spears' direction. We still are projecting Pollard as the RB1 there, but we have it fairly close.
All right. Pollard is the guy, but again, like I said, I think those numbers are a little bit too far apart for Spears and Pollard. Spears at 24.5 rushing yards, Pollard at 37.5 over at FanDuel. Let's close it out with the Kansas City backfield. Pacheco very likely to be out, even though he came back in the game, which is a little bit crazy here. So it's going to be Kareem Hunt versus Brashard Smith versus Elijah Mitchell, who I doubt will get any looks because he hasn't dressed for any game this season that I'm aware of. Hunt's rushing yards are currently in the mid-40s. Not available at FanDuel, but available elsewhere. Brashard Smith I haven't seen available anywhere in terms of rushing yards. Is it as clean-cut as Kareem Hunt, the first, second down sort of bruiser, running back, rushing back, and then Smith is going to come out as a scat back, kind of a receiver back? Or do you think we could see more work lean towards Brashard Smith's way in terms of the running game?
Yeah, this is another one where we feel pretty good on who the RB1 is going to be, but the extent to which that's true is pretty uncertain, kind of like the Pats backfield. Last year, when Pacheco missed time, Hunt was a clear workhorse. He averaged more than 19 carries per game without Pacheco. Never had a game where he got under 2/3 of Kansas City's designed runs. This year, though, they have Brashard Smith. Every time Brashard has been on the field, they've made a really concerted effort to get him the ball. His touches or targets or basically whatever stat you want to use per snap is pretty ridiculous. So maybe we start to see him get more involved with Pacheco out. But it is all guesswork at this point. We're projecting Hunt pretty decently ahead of Brashard Smith, especially in carries. We have Brashard ahead in targets because they've made a really strong effort to get him targets. And so it's pretty easy to see him filling into that role. But carries-wise, we're expecting it to be Hunt.
All right. Seems like Hunt is going to be the guy there. And yeah, it's going to be interesting in a game where it's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a fun game for the Kansas City Chiefs on the road as favorites against the Buffalo Bills. We'll see how that usage pans out. Finally, before we head out, I need a deep cut anytime touchdown scorer for the weekend. I'm putting you on the spot here. You can pick any game, though. Last time I had you pick only one game, and you nailed it. You can pick any game you want here. Deep cut, who you got, why?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Elijah Moore, 7-1, I think, on FanDuel last time I checked, which was an hour ago, so hopefully it's the same. But with Josh Palmer out last week, Moore stepped up as the wide receiver 3 for Buffalo. He ran her out on 52% of dropbacks. We should see the Bills in a more normal game script this week, so maybe they up all of their wide receiver routes. I mean, even their top receivers, Keon Coleman was at 64, Shakir was at 64. So we could see more wide receiver routes in general with Kansas City as slight road favorites. And then this game just has like a monster total. So I'm getting 7-1 on a guy who's going to be out there a good amount for an offense that should score a pretty good amount. So Eli Moore, 7-1 on FanDuel, anytime touchdown. All
right, Eli Moore, 7-1, still available on FanDuel. There is even a 9-1 out there, which is way off market. So, yeah, if you can't get to that 7-1 for sure over on FanDuel. Great price compared to the market where we're seeing like plus 500 consensus around there. So, yeah, go hit that. Plus 900, plus 700, Elijah Moore. Jack, appreciate you joining the show. Excited to talk. Any big plans for Halloween? Are you a baseball guy? Are you cheering for the Dodgers or the Blue Jays?
I'm going for the Blue Jays. I've decided. I've gone back and forth because I've got some people who have Dodgers futures, but a bunch of people I know are Blue Jays fans who live in or around the Toronto area. So I think I'm for Toronto. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I tune in pretty pretty seriously during the playoffs. So I'm excited for the game tonight and hopefully tomorrow.
All right, like hopefully no game tomorrow. Let's start with that.
I hope there is a game tomorrow. I hope there's a game 7.
All right, Jack, you're rooting for chaos. I appreciate that, and I also appreciate you rooting for us over here in Toronto. It means a lot to us. Jack, we'll chat soon.
For sure. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome stuff. Appreciate whenever Jack joins the show, giving us great insight. Helps me out with my fantasy teams. Helps me out with my prop bets for this Sunday slate. And that wraps up today's show.
Hang on. Did you really say Chubba Hubbard?
Okay. Is it Chubby or is it Chubby when you talk about the drink?
Dude's name.
It's
It's not a drink. And the drink is also chubby.
Yeah, but is it Chubby or Chubby?
It's chubby.
Okay, so then why wouldn't it be Chubba?
Because it's a brand. They can choose how they're. Is chubby? If chubby's only one B, then at least you have some merit. Is chubby with one B?
Is Chubba Hubbard only one B?
Yes.
It is
And
only
the
one B.
chubby
All right.
drink is 2 B's.
You know what? If you wanted to pronounce Chuba Hubbard, they would have named him CHOOBA.
No, they could spell it however they want. They could spell it was just a random mismatch of letters and tell you how it's pronounced. It's the dude's name.
All right.
And
Chuba
chubby is spelled differently. There's 2 B's.
All right. Well, there you go. You got me there. Chuba Hubbard. It is. Chuba Hubbard. It is. And that wraps up today's show. Let's get a massive win for the Toronto Blue Jays here. All I'm asking for from you guys is to smash the like button. I don't ask for a lot here on this show. Smash the like button. If you watch us on Twitter, come over to YouTube, hit the like button as well. This is your first time watching. Hopefully we've earned your subscription. Big, in-deep NFL show. No college football today. We had a bunch of college football yesterday, so if you want to go check that out for the weekend, go check that out on yesterday's show, Austin Mock segment in particular. And yeah, all I'm asking for is some likes. All I'm asking for is some love for the Jays to win this World Series game. Any last words, Johnny?
Let's go
All right.
Jays.
All right, good stuff.
Around the hammer.
Appreciate it. Around the hammer. What do we have up next on today? 5 p.m. Eastern time. Hit the books. Joey Knish, Brad Powers, live. Also a couple new FanDuel markets that they're going to mention on the show. I believe they have team-level yards now. So team-level rushing yards, team-level receiving yards. If you're looking for that, you can head over to FanDuel and find those over there. Also, came out earlier today. Circle back. 8 a.m. Eastern time. Already out. Like you mentioned, Jacob, with yourself, with Isaac, with Joey Knish, with Mike, Mr. Peanut Butter. You want to tip the hand on the opening segment there?
We talked a lot of World Series and Shohei Ohtani, so a lot of the conversations lately have been around Shohei Ohtani, no home run, Shohei Ohtani to register a walk in a specific plate appearance, and people who should be smarter than that have to learn the actual house rules behind a walk and an intentional walk.
Yes. I also think it's hilarious when they're hanging like a plus 600, plus 700 on the walk.
Yeah.
You would have to think like the intentional walk. Also, don't complain about the void. At least you didn't lose it.
It's
right?
It's just like if they counted intentional walks towards the walk, it wouldn't be fucking priced that way.
Exactly.
That's why you bet it because you didn't understand it. It's not it's not their fault you didn't understand.
Listen, I had a
rules.
friend who made that mistake, but he wasn't complaining like, why didn't I win? Like,
sure,
it's like,
you have a friend who's a rec bettor, but if you're, let's say, a self-proclaimed expert bettor who sells picks, you probably should know the markets you're betting into.
Yeah, for sure. All right. You're going to want to go check that out right after the show.
Link in the description.
Link in the
Go
description.
check it out.
Do us a favor, check it out. And also, smash the like button over there as well. Clickety-clack does a lot of... I know you guys behind the scenes are clickety-clacking on FanDuel, clickety-clack on YouTube as well. But yeah, that wraps up today's show. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We will be back on Monday, noon Eastern time. We're back here Monday to Friday, noon Eastern, every single day of the week. So you're going to want to... Every single day of the weekday. So you're going to want to tune in for that. Again, if you're on Twitter, come over to YouTube. Helps us out. Even if you just come and click the like button, goes a long way for us here. Anyways, appreciate you guys for joining the show. This has been the spooky Friday, October 31st edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. We will see you guys right here next week.